Hi, this is Catherine Messick, and this is the critique of placement policies for the Independent School District for SPED 756. After my interview with Sherry Potter, who is the Director of Special Services for my school district, and kind of seeing her answers based off of what's actually done in practice versus what is listed in our local compliance plan, which was provided for me by the district. It's pretty obvious to see that there are some major discrepancies in how we actually make the decision of placement versus what we should be doing in regards to making the decision of placement. If you look closely at the wording, first of all, in the local compliance plan, you'll notice that instead of general education, the word regular education is used quite a bit, which is not a term that you should be using in any sort of document that you're sending out. The idea of regular education is a very outdated term that I'm very surprised was included. Every time that they refer to general education, it's called regular education. And this was a plan that was actually updated as of July 30th, I believe, of this past year, 2019. So this is the most up-to-date it could be. Other things that I thought were very odd are the parent is not mentioned in the plan, and it is not really considered a part of the decision making when it comes to placement within the independent school district. After interviewing with Sherry Potter about who would be a part of these IEP teams that she was referring to as being a part of the group that would decide placement, the decision makers, if you will, it was kind of an afterthought that these parents would have some sort of input into this and that these decisions were actually being made prior to the meeting with the parent and the student. So their needs or their concerns were not a part of the decision really and what they were doing. The other thing that was very obvious that they are not abiding by IDA with is the fact that we centralize programs. And this was something that I was aware of when I started teaching here, and it's very common practice in most of the suburban districts here in Kansas City, and it's really unfortunate. Basically, if you have autism, you go to this school. If you have some other type of cognitive disability, you go to this school. If you are have social emotional issues, you go to this school. If you have behavior issues, you go to this school. It is based on your diagnosis, no matter what they say. I'm dealing with the same thing with my district in which I live in, also does this. And we are bused to the location. So at no point is the neighborhood school actually the school that is considered first. It is what school does your diagnosis sort of dictate that you now go to. This is very unfortunate, and this is unfortunately a very common practice. It's kind of that it's always been this way, so therefore we think that we can continue to do this. The fact that there hasn't been multiple lawsuits, it floors me that this would be allowed to keep going. They do say that there's a very specific criteria that you have to meet in order to be housed in one of these schools. But further research into this, the way our compliance plan is worded, it's very broad, so that just about anything can be considered a need for you to attend this designated school. So we are segregating our population, and we're not considering our parents and our students necessarily in the decision-making process, and instead we're coming in as a team and using diagnosis as a criteria for placement. And so these are all very concerning issues that I would have with our district and our non-compliance with IDEA because of it.